So the title of the message of God that I would like to share with you, alinsunod sa ating pagdiriwang ng First Fruit Sunday, ay why we must follow the principle of first fruits. And the particular story in the Old Testament that I pick up to provide us enlightenment and understanding the principle of the first fruit that we should follow is to be found in Deuteronomy chapter 26, beginning verse 1 until verse 15. Okay. Let me read our passage this morning. Deuteronomy chapter 26, beginning verse 1 until verse 15. When you come into the land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance and have taken possession of it and live in it, you shall take some of the first of all the fruit of the ground, which you harvest from your land that the Lord your God is giving you. And you shall put it in a basket, and you shall go to the place that the Lord your God will choose to make his name dwell there. And you shall go to the priest who is in office at the time and say to him, I declare today to the Lord your God that I have come into that land that the Lord swore to our fathers to give us. Then the priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it down before the altar of the Lord your God. And you shall make response before the Lord your God. A wandering Aramean was my father, and he went down into Egypt and sojourned there few in number. And there he became a nation great, mighty, and populous. And the Egyptians treated us harshly and humiliated us and laid on us hard labor. Then we cried to the Lord, the God of our fathers, and the Lord heard our voice and saw our affliction, our toil, and our oppression. And the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, with great deeds of terror, with signs and wonders. And he brought us into the place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And behold, now I bring the first fruit of the ground, which you, O Lord, have given me. And you shall set it down before the Lord your God and worship before the Lord your God. And you shall rejoice in all the good that the Lord your God has given to you and to your house, you and the Levite and the foreigner who is among you. When you have finished paying all the tithe you produce in the third year, which is the year of tithing, giving it to the Levite, the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow, so that they may eat within your towns and be filled. Then you shall say before the Lord your God, I have removed the sacred portion out of my house, and moreover, I have given it to the Levite, the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow, according to all your commandment that you have commanded me. I have not transgressed any of your commandments, nor have I forgotten them. Have not eaten of the tithe while I was mourning, or removed any of it while I was unclean, or offered any of it to the dead. I have obeyed the voice of the Lord my God. I have done according to all that you have commanded me. Look down from your holy habitation from heaven and bless your people Israel and the ground that you have given us as you swore to our fathers, a land flowing with milk and honey. Pagpalain ng mga salita ng Diyos na siyang ating binasa. First, we do first fruits to obey God's command. Isang pagsunod sa utos ng Panginoon ang pagkakaloob. In the written law of God, ang pagbibigay ay kanyang iniutos. Remember, But even without the written law of God to give, ay nakapaloob sa moral law of God. Ang pagbibigay po ay hindi suggestion, but a command that we need to do. The instruction of Moses is very clear about the first fruits that was given for the Israelites. It was in the context of a command. Ang kanilang pagkakaloob ng unang bunga ng kanilang mga ani ay kanilang dapat tuparin alinsunod sa itinakda ng kanilang civil law. Tanungin kita, tinatrato mo ba ang pagbibigay as suggestion or command? If you treat offering as suggestion, maaari mo tong hindi gawin kasi mungkahi lamang. However, if you treat offering as a command, dapat mo itong gawin sapagkat ito ay nasa konteksto ng pag-uutos. Bear in mind that offering is a command to do. A failure to do so ay isang paglabag sa utos ng Diyos. Let me quote one of the explanation of Mr. Cecilio Pedro. Siya po ay CEO and President ng Lamoyan Corporation. Sa isang pag-interview sa kanya ng ANC about money matters, kanyang tinuran ang ganitong mga pangungusap, and let me quote him. He said, "I learned that money is important. But it is also important that we give to the church regularly. Because whatever we have in this world belongs to the Lord." Si Mr. Cecilio Pedro po, ang product po nila yung mga Happy toothpaste. Nauunawaan po niya ang pagbibigay at pagkakaloob sapagkat ang mga bagay na kanyang tinatamasa, financial blessing, ay kanyang kinikilala na ito ay galing sa Panginoon. H. Jackson Brown Jr. says, "Remember that the happiest people are not those getting more, but those giving more." Here is the second reason why we should follow the principle of first fruits. We do first fruits to give the 10th portion of our income. Painggan po natin, isang pag-iika po ang paghahandog mula sa ating mga kinita. Halimbawa, kumita ka ng 1,000, give the 10%. So matotal mga 100 piso po yun. Halimbawa, sumahod ka ng 10,000, give the 10%. So matotal, ang amount po niyan ay 1,000 pesos. Listen carefully. In the instruction of Moses, the Israelites must set aside a tenth from their harvest or production from the ground. At ang 10% of their production or harvest from the ground, alalahanin mo, ito ay sagradong bagay o sagradong bahagi na hindi maaaring galawin o gamitin sa isang bagay o sa ibang bagay. The 10% of their harvest as their first fruit offering is consecrated. It is holy. Hindi nila pwedeng ma-divert po ito o hindi nila pwedeng hindi ibigay o gamitin nila sa anumang mga bagay. It is sacred, holy, set apart as their offering unto the Lord. Tanungin kita sa umagang ito. Itinatabi mo ba ang 10% bahagi ng iyong kinita upang ito ay ipagkaloob mo? Nauunawaan mo ba na ang 10% bahagi ng iyong kita ay set apart for offering na hindi maaaring pakialaman. Let us argue. Fair ba ang tithing? It goes without saying, tithing is very much fair. Isipin mo, sa 10,000 na income natin, ipagpalagay po natin, 90% is yours. So sa 10,000, 90% is yours. Ibig sabihin, 9,000 sa iyo. And only 10% of the 10,000 income, which is 1,000, as your first fruit or your tithes. Hindi ho ba't fair po yun? 90% ng kinita mo ay sa iyo, 10% lamang ang ipagkakaloob mo. It goes without saying how fair tithing principle is all about in the context of first fruit. Justifiable ba na huwag tayong mag-tithes or i-divert natin ang ating tithes? Again, it goes without saying, tithes must be offered and cannot be diverted, for it is holy, it is set apart, it is consecrated. Madalas nangangatwiran po tayo. Hindi muna tayo magbibigay kasi kapos tayo. Madalas nangangatwiran po tayo. Gagamitin ko muna ang aking tithes, sa palagay ko naman mauunawaan ako ni Lord. One of my mentor in the Assemblies of God, isa po siya sa ginamit ng Panginoon upang ako po ay ihubog sa leadership in the Assemblies of God. I was challenged and inspired that this mentor of mine who equipped me in the leadership in the Assemblies of God, talagang totoo po at tuloy-tuloy po yung kanyang pagtatapat sa pag-iikapo. Buwan-buwan, wala pong palya, dinadala po niya ang kanyang ikapo sa aming pong distrito. And I can prove it kasi po meron pong mga record po yun. At pwede kong ipakita sa inyo how faithful this mentor of mine in the Assemblies of God leadership. Kaya nga na-inspired ako at nahamon ako upang sundin ko rin yung kanyang yapak na magtapat din sa pag-iikapo. You could go to our office and see the record of his faithful tithing. Wala pong palya. Buwan-buwan, taon-taon, nagdadala po siya ng kanyang ikapo. Mark Batterson says, when God blesses you financially, don't raise your standard of living. Raise your standard of giving. Hindi ho ba totoo ito? Kapag tayo po ay napagpala o umasenso o kumita, ang una po nating itataas, yung antas po ng ating pong pamumuhay. Kung dati sa karinderya ka lang kumakain dahil you've been blessed financially, itataas mo yung standard of living mo, hindi ka na lang sa karinderya kakain. Kakain ka na sa fine dining. Before, mineral water lang ang iniinom mo. But when you are been blessed financially, naku, milk tea na ang iyong iniinom. And we are challenged with this quotation to evaluate our life. When we are blessed, hindi mo lamang iaangat yung standard of living mo. Iangat mo din yung standard ng pagkakaloob mo. Here's the third reason why we should follow the principle of first fruits. We do first fruits to testify for God's provision. Isang patotoo ng pagtugon ng Panginoon sa ating mga pangangailangan kapag tayo po ay nagbibigay. So when I give, do first fruit, make offering, do the tithing, it is my testimony that the Lord has provided my needs, has supplied my needs. Ang salita po ng Diyos ay puno ng pangako. Halimbawa, He will supply our needs. Halimbawa, He will give us our daily bread. Kaya sa tuwing tayo po ay nagbibigay, nagkakaloob, tayo ay nagpapatotoo na ang Diyos ay tapat sa kanyang pangako upang tayo pagpalain at tugunin ang ating pong mga pangangailangan. When I give, I'm testifying of the provision of God. When I give, I say that God gave me my bread. When I give, I'm saying that God has supplied my needs in life. Ayon sa Old Testament history of the Israelites, primero sila po ay alipin sa lugar po ng Ehipto. Subalit sila po ay inilabas ng Panginoon mula doon sa pagkaalipin sa lugar ng Ehipto at sila po ay dinala ng Panginoon sa lupang pangako. Ang lupang pangako, ang tawag po yung the land of Canaan. At itong Canaan was described na the land flowing with milk and honey. And Canaan, the promised land, ang kanilang mana or inheritance. At ang lupa doon ay sobrang masagana. Painggan mo ito. This powerful salvation of God to the Israelites, ang konteksto ng instruction ni Moses about the first fruit. So the harvest of the promised land as first fruits offering is their testimony on how God released them from suffering to blessing. Primero, nasaan po sila? Nasa Ehipto. Mga alipin po sila doon. Tapos dinala sila ng Panginoon sa lupang pangako, yung Canaan, at yun na ang kanilang tinataniman, sinasaka, at doon po sila nag-aani. So whenever they harvest on that Canaan, the land flowing with milk and honey, it is a testimony how God released them from slavery towards freedom and blessing. So sa tuwing sila ay aani at ilalaan nila ang mga unang bunga, it is their testimony of how God released them, set them free from suffering into a state and condition of being blessed. Tanungin ko po kayo sa umagang ito. Ngayong panahon ng pandemya, naghihirap po ba tayo? Nagutom po ba tayo? Nawalan po ba tayo ng kita? Nagkasakit po ba tayo? Hindi po tayo naghirap. Hindi po tayo nagutom. Hindi po tayo nawalan ng kita. Hindi po tayo nagkasakit. Ito ay patunay na hindi tayo iniwan at hindi tayo pinabayaan ng Diyos. Therefore, it is right, therefore it is justifiable na tayo ay magbigay at magkaloob to testify on the goodness of God. Naalala ko po ang isang powerful story in the Gospel of Mark. In Mark chapter 12 verse 41 to 44. Habang ang Panginoon ay nasa templo and he made observation nung mga taong pumapasok sa templo at maghulog ng kanilang mga kaloob o pagbibigay dun sa temple treasury. Napansin niya yung mga mayayamang pumapasok po doon, dala-dala yung kanilang big time offering at inihuhulog po doon sa temple treasury. Very impressive. Large amount of money given by the rich people. But the Lord was amazed and impressed. Merong isang balo o widow. Pumasok po sa templo at inihulog po yung kanyang kakarampot na handog sa Panginoon. And the Lord was impressed. Hindi po doon sa mayamang mga tao na nagkakaloob ng large amount of money, kung hindi dito sa balong babaeng ito na because out of her poverty, she gave. Yung kanyang ipinagkaloob sa templo, yun na lang ang tanging pera niya. Ibinigay pa po niya. And the Lord was impressed with this widow. Someone says, I learned to give not because I have many, but because I know exactly how it feels to have nothing. Hindi po tayo nagkakaloob dahil sobra-sobra ang ating pong mga pananalapi. Kaya tayo nagbibigay dahil tayo po ay may kaalaman kung paanong ang mga tao po ay naghihirap at nangangailangan. And we have been on that situation. And that experiences that we have how to be in need pushes us really to give, really to bless ministry and other people. It is the fourth reason why we do the principle of first fruit. We do first fruits to bless the ministry and the needy. Isang pagpapala para sa simbahan at mga nangangailangan sa tuwing tayo po ay nagbibigay at nagkakaloob. Alam po ninyo, sa ating pagbibigay, we are actually financing the church ministry in order for it to continue. When we give, mapupunan natin ang gastos ng simbahan. When we give, makakapagbigay tayo ng love gift kay PTR. When we give, mapopondohan yung ating discipleship, evangelism, at mga social work campaign. Moses' instruction for the Israelites about the first fruits na ito ay ibibigay nila kanino? Una, para sa mga Levites. Alam natin, ang mga Levites, ito yung set-apart tribe ng the 12 tribes of Israel na sila ay itinilaga for religious workers. So sila ang mga recipient ng first fruits offering. Ibibigay din nila ito para sa mga foreigner na napapadayo sa kanilang lugar na parang mga alipin upang may pagkain sila. Recipient din ng kanilang first fruit offering yung mga fatherless o yung mga ulila. Idagdag pa natin, maaayudahan din ng first fruit nila yung mga widow o yung mga balo. Sa konteksto ng mga Israelites, ang kanilang first fruit offering ay mistulang ayuda sa mga Levites na mga religious worker, mga dayo, para sa mga ulila, at para sa mga balo. Let me ask you this question. Makatwiran ba na magkaloob ka sa simbahan para may pang-ayuda sa manggagawa at gawain? Makatwiran ba yan? It goes without saying, it's very justifiable to give in the church. Na alam natin, pang-ayuda yon sa mga manggagawa at mga nangangailangan. Kapag hindi po tayo nagkakaloob, magkakaroon po ng pagkagutom ang mga manggagawa ng simbahan. Kapag hindi po tayo nagkakaloob, maaring matigil ang gawain. We are blessed sa ating pong ministry. Mapapansin po ninyo, meron po tayong 60 inches LED TV. May bago din po tayong keyboard amp. Ang ganda pa po ng tatak, PBKB4. Makikita din po ninyo, before pandemic, meron po tayong bagong mixer. Aba, maganda po yung brand, Behringer. At this January, we're able to acquire synthesizer keyboard XPS10. Ang brand po maganda rin, Roland. Alam po ba ninyo, isang tao po ang ginamit ng Panginoon na sa kanyang pagkakaloob at pagbibigay upang ma-finance yung mga equipment ng ating pong ministry, ng ating pong simbahan. Purihin ang Panginoon, salamat sa kanya pong buhay. Denzel Washington says, at the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you have accomplished. It's about what you've done with those accomplishments. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better. It's about what you've given back. A powerful quotation from Denzel Washington. At the end of the day, what matters most, sino yung mga taong natulungan mo? Sino yung mga taong naalalayan mo? Sino yung mga taong naayadahan mo? Sino yung mga taong pinagkalooban mo? It's not about what we have accomplished, but what we have given back. And lastly, ang panglimang reason kung bakit po natin sundin ang first fruit principle is this. We do first fruits to receive the divine blessings. Isang pagtanggap ng pabor ng Diyos ang pagbibigay. Ang pagbibigay natin sa Panginoon, sa ministry at sa mga nangangailangan will be rewarded, shall be blessed. Are you listening? Although we are not motivated to give in order for us to bless, but in the promises of God, when we give, the Lord shall bless us. In Malachi chapter 3, verse 10 to 11, ano po ang pangako ng Panginoon sa pagkakaloob? Bring the tithes to the storehouse. And when we bring the tithes to the storehouse, ano pong ang response ng Panginoon? Open windows of heaven to pour out great blessings. Kapag tayo po ay nag-iikapo at nagkakaloob, bubuksan ng Diyos ang kalangitan upang ibuhos ang dakilang pagpapala po sa atin. Ang Diyos po ang nangako po nun. Your crops will be abundant. Yung kanilang mga tanim, yung kanilang mga produkto, pagyayamanin ng Diyos when they honor God in their harvest, in their production. Hindi ba ngayon uso ang peste? ASF, peste po sa baboy. Birds flu, peste po sa mga manok. Kaya kulang tayo sa supply ng baboy at manok sa mga panahon ngayon. Hindi ba dahil sa peste? Alam po ninyo, pangako ng Panginoon sa mga Israelites, iwas peste ang inyong mga tanim kapag tinutupad ninyo ang pagkakaloob at ang pag-iikapo. God will protect against harm and pest yung kanila pong harvest. If you want the Lord to protect your finances, to protect your work and businesses, you do offering, you do tithing, you bring your first fruit unto the Lord. Moses has encouraged the Israelites that God will look down from heaven to bless his people as they honor the Lord with their first fruit. When they honor the Lord with their first fruit, God will look down. If you want God to look down to you, bring your first fruit unto the Lord. Anne Frank says, no one has ever become poor by giving. Kayo po ba, may naisip na kayo ng mga tao na sa kanilang pagbibigay sila po ay naghirap? Hindi po. On the contrary, Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 8, God will able to bless us abundantly as we give. Habang tayo po'y nagkakaloob at nag-iikapo at tumutulong, mas lalo po tayong pagpapalain. As you bless people, the Lord will bless you even more so that you could continually be a blessing to other people. So the key is give, bless others, and the Lord will give unto you and bless you even more.